Hello, my name is Giulia, and today we're gonna make a lasagna. The holidays seem to be around the corner already, and so we thought, why not make the lasagna, which is a universally known holiday dish. Everybody seems to enjoy it, and obviously there's a lot of ways you can make lasagna. But today we're gonna stick with the classic one. I've already made the bolognese sauce to go with it. That's one thing that I want to stress. Make sure you don't skimp, on a good sauce. You really need, that's what's going to give you the flavor. And so, and that you can make ahead of time, whenever you want. You can actually freeze the sauce and then use it when you need it. So, but I made this sauce yesterday, and I'm just going to start laying it out. I actually got noodles that don't need to be boiled, but this particular brand that I found, it tells me that it needs to soak in warm water for about a couple of minutes, which I did. It makes sense to me because the one that is already to go, I'm not too crazy about it because it seems to get dry and it doesn't cook evenly. So this should be great to use for this particular lasagna. And I figured if you don't have time to make your own noodles and get fresh ones, which they're very expensive, this is a great way to go. And you can put it together in a few minutes once you have all the ingredients, okay? We're going to use actually some ricotta cheese today in this lasagna. And I have some shredded cheese, which are like three different cheeses blended together. Some Romano and Parmesan cheese, some mozzarella, and sauce. And I have ready a cup of chicken broth. Just in case it gets dry, you can always have it halfway through the cooking process, okay? So let's start. You always want to start with a little bit of sauce on the bottom so that it keeps the lasagna noodles moist, and you don't want it to stick on the bottom of the pan, so don't need too much, just a little bit to get it where it lands on something. Also, this lasagna that I found, I like it because it's wavy, so which means that as it's cooking, all the sauce is going to get like in between the waves. Okay, now let's see if we don't break it. Okay, so you start with 2 sheets, and then as you go, you start getting like grated cheese. And we don't need too much because this is like a very, thin sheet of lasagna. Start putting a little sauce. And then we're going to put a little more of that other cheese, the blend of cheeses. And then we're going to put a little bit of ricotta. And you keep on going. We're going to do lots of layers. The ricotta, you just like with anything, a spoon or whatever you have. Just put, because we're going to do a lot of layers, so you don't want to put too much all at once, so that we'll get it through all the layers of the lasagna. So just keep on, dropping a little bit on it. And again, you don't need to use the ricotta. This is one of the ways to make it a little richer. Like I said before, there's a lot of ways to make lasagnas nowadays. It's just, you can make a great vegetarian lasagna if that's your preference. But this is one of the, okay, let's see if we can get it without messing it up too much. Okay. Now we're getting into the trouble. Okay. If it breaks up a little bit, it doesn't matter because it's going to get, come on. Maybe I kept it too long. Should have, okay. All right, we got it. So the next layer, you want to put the noodles in the opposite direction. That's how it usually goes. And we'll get this through. Just don't want it, okay. So now we put it this way. And, oops, okay. And you can always stitch together the pieces. They'll get all cooked, and I'm going to try to separate them ahead of time so that I didn't get the same problem. Okay, let's see. Okay. And we have another couple of sheets ready. Okay. We keep going. Grated cheese. Sauce. You just spread it around a little bit. Okay. Now this grated cheese, shred it. Okay, ricotta cheese. Whoops, come on. Okay. Maybe I should get a spoon. Might actually work better. And I seasoned a little bit the ricotta cheese with some, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And I also put like a couple of tablespoons of grated cheese in. You don't have to, it's just, you know, just added a little bit more flavor to it. Okay, so we keep going. Layering. Okay, let's see if we can get this inside of the pan. Okay. Until we exhaust all the layers. And if it looks like it's not going to fit in the pan, don't worry, because while it's cooking, it will actually go down instead of bumping up, because it's going to cook. And so the noodles are actually going to shrink as opposed to, not shrink, but basically get moist, and they will go down. So, okay, keep on going this way.
Any holiday stories to share about this?
Yeah, and yeah, again, this is one of those dishes that it's never misses the holidays, and it doesn't seem like it's a big holiday without the lasagna or some kind of baked pasta. Not all the regions do the same kind of foods, obviously, and there's always the people in the different regions that believe theirs are the original, the authentic, and you know, we actually have another dish that we do for the holidays, which is more common in my region than the lasagna is, because that's the way it turned out to be. So we do like a big ziti with little meatballs that my family is also crazy about. So it depends, you know, depends where you come from and which regions and you come from and what kind of tradition they have. This just happened to be a very universal one, which is fine. I mean, we all love it. So yeah, my family really expects. And I remember when I was little and wanting to, we all come from a big family, we all decided that we got the small piece. And so there was always some kind of fight going on when there was these kind of things that would be cooked. So yeah, it's fun. And they're fun memories, very fun memories. Go with this kind of things. Yeah, the holidays in my family, especially Christmas, it's probably my favorite holiday in the whole world. I mean, it's just one of those things that run really deep. And yeah, I will sacrifice time, energy, anything, just to make it a great holiday. So, yeah. And this is going to cook for about, You know, it's all depending on how your oven is and how you like it cooked and that kind of thing like that. So definitely check after 20 minutes, and then they tell you to uncover it and cook it for another 10 minutes. But I would definitely check after 20 minutes. If the pasta seems to be pretty fork tender, then yeah, just uncover the pan and let it brown a little bit on the top. If it looks kind of resistant to the fork, just keep it covered, because you're supposed to cover it for the first 20 minutes. Keep it covered for another 5-10 minutes. It's not gonna, nothing will happen if you keep it a little longer in the oven. Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle the rest of the mozzarella on top. Okay, and we're gonna cover it with foil. I'm gonna show you a little trick that I do, because sometimes the foil actually sticks and the mozzarella sticks to the foil and it becomes kind of a mess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually spray the piece of foil so that we don't have that problem. Just gonna get the cheese off that so that we don't get a mess. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we got the foil. Get a big enough piece that'll cover the whole pan. So what I'm gonna do is just spray one of those cooking spray things on it. And this way, when we uncover it, it won't stick to the pan. There we go. Okay, the oven has been ready for a while. We'll put it in and we'll check in about 20 minutes and see if it needs to be uncovered. Okay? There we go. And you want to put the cooking pan more toward the lower part of the oven, because it needs the heat to cook. So, and if the oven doesn't brown well enough, then the last 10-15 minutes you can put it a little higher. And that should be it for the time being. We check it on the lasagna. It's about 20 minutes now. Let's see how it's doing. We might need to put it back. We'll just check it. How it looks. Well, it's doing pretty well, but it's not even come to a bubbling yet. So, and I like to see that, you know, so that everything gets cooked properly. What we might want to do is just see how it expands. So I'm going to push it down a little bit so this actually gets. And at this point, I think I'm going to put a little bit, just a little bit of the chicken broth, only because I want to make sure that it gets cooked. It's pretty soft already. It's not that hard anymore, so it's getting there. And it looks pretty moist too, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I'm definitely putting it back and waiting until I see a bubble. So obviously it's not going to take just 20 minutes. It's going to end up being more like 40 minutes, which is the normal, you know, kind of time for lasagna to be ready. So we're going to put it right back in. And this time we're going to uncover it. So let's see if it's actually bubbling. Yeah, but it looks like it's pretty much ready. So I'm going to just put it a little higher in the oven so this actually gets a little brown. And what I'm going to do also, I'm going to just get the oven, the temperature of the oven a little higher. I'm going to put it at 350 so that it gets, okay. So we'll put it in and we'll check it in another 10 minutes and that should be it. Okay. Okay, now the lasagna, it's ready to come out of the oven. It looks beautiful, nice and brown. I did ended up increasing the temperature of the oven to 350 for about 10 minutes, and then I actually put it on broil for another couple of minutes because I like it when it gets nice and brown on the top. And so now it's perfect. So now we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes before we serve it, because otherwise it's going to be a mess, okay? This is what you usually do. Looks yummy, and I'm starving, so let's see. I'm going to see if I can get it cut first. Come on. Lots of layers. All right. Ooh. Look at that. Nice. Very, very nice. All right. And there we have the beautiful lasagna that we made. Hopefully you'll try it too and enjoy it. Happy holidays.
What are you fixing, Vito?
The leftover from the restaurant.
Ah, nice.
I got some ham, the string beans, potato.
Beautiful.
Came out really good. If I actually saw myself.